Santelli did it in a network where normally they aren't saying things that are more conservative. And he said that we cannot continue the spending that we have right now. It must quit. Our founding fathers would be turning over in their graves, and that we should have a tea party. And he was in Chicago, he said, right here in Chicago on the 4th of July. Well, that was on February 19th of last year. There were several of us who were tweeting on Twitter about that rant. And we were from groups like Smart Girl Politics and Top Conservatives. So we got on a conference called Friday Evening, and there were 22 of us on that call. And we talked about striking while the iron was hot and going ahead and having tea parties the following Friday. So we did that. We had that call thinking, all right, we'll have 5 to 10 tea parties around the country, and that'll be a huge success. I mean, we're talking about conservatives protesting parties with 35,000 people in attendance across the country. And it didn't stop there. We immediately started planning for our tax day tea parties. For the tax day tea parties, we wound up having over 850 tea parties around the country on April 15th of last year. We reached over 850, and we had to stop entering stuff into the database, into the website, so we could actually wrap up and plan our own tea parties that we were working on locally. So about 24 hours or so prior to the tax day tea parties, we stopped. We had over 850. We went back after April 15th of last year and asked for attendance counts from all of those coordinators. And we had 1.2 million people who rose up last April 15th.
But I want to introduce two people who are primarily responsible for the conservative victory we're going to have on November 2nd. One is President Obama. But the second is a gentleman that you've heard of his organization, but you probably haven't met him. He's one of the great conservatives. He's the president of Citizens United. He took 6 years at the Supreme Court to win a victory, to finally giving up the side against ourselves and the unions and the teachers' unions. I'd like to welcome the studio head and the winner of the Citizens United case, Dave Bosse, president of Citizens United.
Well, thank you all. It's really an honor to be here. Each and every one of you is the reason that we're going to send a lot of Democrats packing on November 2nd. The Citizens United case is what gave us the ammunition to fight the George Soros-led, union-driven, leftist machine that is born in Washington and bred in Washington, and we're going to send them all home on November 2nd. You know, I'm really proud, and I feel like I know Jenny Beth Martin and Jamie Radke here all too well, but they are the stars of our film, Fire from the Heartland. And I urge each and every one of you to get to know Jamie. I urge each and every one of you to watch this beautiful film that Steve Bannon wrote and directed. It is phenomenal. We just had a screening. I know some of you were there. We have some of them blame Citizens United for the upcoming victories on November 2nd, and nothing could make me happy. So it's each and every one of you. It's each and every one of you. You have to leave here more motivated, more directed, more driven to bring it home on November 2nd, because if we go to sleep, we will wake up very disappointed on November 3rd. So on to victory. Thank you very much.
The new normal, 10% unemployment, no job growth, wages stagnant, upward mobility impossible, the American dream dashed. That's what the price of Barack Obama is. You know, if you declare war on anyone who creates jobs, you're not going to get jobs. What's the last time a poor person offered you a job? And what is going on now is that Obama has adopted policies that make the economy impossible to turn around. He says, have a good recovery, but don't spend any money, because I'm going to suck you with tax increases next year that are going to curl your hair. And if you own your own business and you're getting on in years, don't reinvest the profits in the business, because if you die, I'm going to take it all away from you. And if you want to expand your business, don't go to any bank to get money from them, because if they make a loan that doesn't work out, I'm going to close them down and fire the banker. And besides that, I'm giving these banks money for free, 0.25% interest, and then I'm borrowing it back from them at 3.5%. Nice deal. Why should they invest money in starting up a business or creating jobs? They can just lend the money to Washington. It's a neat gig for Washington. They print the money, they give it to the banks for free, and they borrow it back at 3.5%. And everybody's happy, but there are no jobs created. Energy industry, where he's taxing coal, taxing oil, banning offshore drilling and regulating slate drilling so it doesn't take off. Who's going to invest in that? Or in the banks, which are poised on the brink of a federal takeover whenever they make the slightest misstep? So I've just ticked off the whole American economy. Where are these jobs going to come from? And the answer is there's only one sector I haven't ticked off: the government. So, in this election, our very lives are at stake. Our capacity to control our own health care, our capacity to have our country grow and prosper economically, our capacity to preserve a manufacturing base in the United States, our capacity to keep our Constitution and be able to live according to its precepts. Those are the stakes of this election.